Hello guys, welcome to my channel .NET Experts. Today we're going to see one more interview question, that is what is the difference between read-only and const. So when are we using these keywords, and what is when you declare a property as a read-only field, what happens when I declare a property as a constant field, what happens? So when you have to go for that. So let us go ahead and just see in a small example. So here I've created two properties. One is a read-only property, other one is a const property. So the read-only property, once you declared it, just have to make sure the value will be assigned in the constructor. So this value, whatever you're defining, it will be decided during the constructor. When the constructor is created, this read-only property, the value can be initialized in the constructor level. Yes, that means once you declare a read-only property, it's not mandatory that you just have to initialize a value to that. So let me go ahead and try to initialize a value. Okay, so there is no mandatory. You just have to go ahead and register a value to that. So let us do that. So I'll just say I'm going to register a value test to this, and in the constructor I'm going to override that value. So anyhow, in the program.cs I created an object for this. I'm just trying to call the method which I created here. So this is going to print employee name and employee ID. So first we'll see the read only, later we'll go back to the constant variable. So let's just go ahead and run it here. So the moment you do that, so anyhow, what is the value of employee name now? It's a test. I can just override that value in the constructor. Yes, now the value of the employee name becomes Rahul Saxena. So that is one of the major change, what we can call it, for the read only. And there is no condition that you just have to initialize a value to the read-only property. So you can just go ahead and declare a read-only property at the top, and you can just like initialize during the construction time, or let us try to override this value in the print employee method. We're trying to call that method after the successful creation of the method. So what happens here when if you try to update that, it throws an problem here. It says if you want to initialize some value to this, the only area where you can do that is you can do it only in the constructor. You cannot do it in anywhere else. So that's what it's saying here. A read-only field cannot be assigned to except in the constructor or in it only settler of the type which the field is a defined or a variable initializer. So what it means to say, it's saying, okay, boss, if you want to initialize the value to this read-only field, either you have to do it in the constructor or you just have to go ahead and do it when you declare the variable itself. So this is one more point here. So the question will be like, is it possible to set a value to the read-only field in the method of your class? The answer will be no for that. So you can clearly say this value can be initialized only in the constructor. I hope you guys understood what is the read only here. And let us go ahead and see what is constant. So constant, as a name suggests, so once a value is set to that, it cannot be changed. So let us just try to remove the initialized value to that. And you can just see an error here. A constant field requires a value to be provided. So it expects a value to be provided. So once you declare a constant variable, it should always have some value to that. So let us try to override the value of the employee ID here. And I will say 10. Again, I'm expecting an exception here. So left hand side assignment must be variable property or in. Oh, it is saying, okay, ideally you cannot go ahead and just override the value uh, anything like that is something like which is not possible to do that in the constructor or anywhere in the method as well. So let's try to do the same thing in the method as well. So employee ID, I'll just say 50. It's not possible here. So ideally, once you declare a constant variable, so points you have to remember is, okay, this is the value which is something like decided at the compile time itself, where you're assigning value, and that value whatever you assigned it cannot be changed during the any course of the project. Like once it's assigned means assigned, we cannot go ahead and change the value of that. So the moment finally if I run this, so ideally it says, okay, the value of the read only and the value of the constant variables. I hope this is little bit clear to you guys, and maybe I can just provide few more points like no as we let me just rewind it one more time. In the C sharp, read-only fields can be created using only read-only keyword. So we know that in the C sharp, constant fields are created using constant keywords. Yes. And read-only is a runtime constant. Yes. And constant is a compile time constant. So we know that, like, read-only is a runtime constant because in the constructor where, just like we can go ahead and initialize the value to that read-only, right? So ideally it's a runtime. When you run it, that's the only time, constructor get executed. So constant is a compile time. That's what we saw. So once you declare a variable, it has to have a value to that. The value of the read-only field can be changed. We saw that, like, once a value is initialized, when you declare a variable in the read-only field, and it can be changed in the constructor. We saw that. And the value of the constant field, it cannot be changed when we saw that as well. And it cannot be declared inside the methods. We have seen that, like, if you try to declare a read-only field inside a method, that will not allow you to do that. So, but the constant variable is something, you can just code and declare it inside a method. So that is one point I would like to just show you here. So let me try to create a property here. Let me say, so let's say read only string employee name test. Let me copy that and paste it here. Test, and similar to this, we'll create a constant field as well. So ideally it's integer. Let us try to initialize one to that. So you can see here. So I can just go ahead and declare a constant variable inside the method. But if I try to do the same thing for read only, it's not going to do that. So ideally, this is not allowed. The read only field is not allowed to create inside the method. So that's one more point you guys have to remember it. And in the read only fields, we can assign the values of the declaration, and in the construction part as well. Yes, that's true. We saw that already. And we can assign in the constant field, we can assign only value only once. And in the read-only field, it can be used within the static modifiers as well. But in the constant, that is something we cannot go ahead and use it within the static modifiers. So these are all the major difference, guys, between the read-only and constant. And if someone asks you about this particular thing, please go ahead and write a method like this, write a small class, or if they're expecting theoretically, at least try to take some class names and convince them with your answers. Okay, then that's all for the class. And if you have any questions regarding the topic which you covered today, you can just let me know in the comment section. And guys, we help the people to prepare the candidates for the trainings, and we're just like preparing for them for the interviews as well. So if you have any concerns or any queries regarding your career path, so please do reach out to us, and I'll just provide my Telegram channel and my details, WhatsApp details, everything in the chat. So feel free to connect with us. Thank you so much for your time. See you again in the next video. Thank you so much. All the best for your interviews.